You know, out of all the weird things that happened since I went on this trip, the weirdest is the fact that I found myself locked up in a jail cell somewhere in the middle of Washington. The reason? Hell if I know. This week's been so fucking insane, I don't even know where to start. I guess you're wondering who the hell I am. You could call me Gonzo. Some people just call me mindless, the rest call me the biggest ass that ever walked. To me, it doesn't matter. If you look over to the cell right next to me, I'm sure you'll see Moonman. Not his name either, but honestly, it's the best I'd be able to come up with on the fly. He's probably my best pal, but he's the bastard that got me in this situation. Moonman lay there, tired as hell, head bobbing back and forth. In truth, he was the ugliest son of a bitch I ever met. His skin was pale, a long, almost curved chin. Reminding me of those McDonald's commercial with a singing moon-headed man. That's why I called him that anyway. I don't know his real name, though. But with everything we've been through, I consider him my best friend at this point. But right now, I think it's best to explain the story. Sit back and get yourself comfortable. It's going to be a long tale if things go the way I expected. I'll just be right here and rambling along. Not like I got anything else to be. Before I began this little trip, I was working. My job's rather unimportant, nothing big or fancy. I'm just an editor of a large news station. Pays well, although if you ask me, they need to give me a raise. The boss man's a cheap-ass son of a bitch. The most action this town seems to have was the average of what went on in other parts of the states. Nothing ever seems to happen, it was just that boring. Kind of made me wonder what the old man did to keep this place running. Oh well. Surprising this Monday, something interesting happened. I was sitting in my office looking over an article written by some kid named Columbus Crash about the town's large pumpkins this season. I swear to God, this kid was high as hell when he wrote it. So many mistakes in this thing. It wasn't even funny. How the hell did the kid even get hired? The boss goes by the name of Lucker Darksteel. He came in looking at me in the most awkward fashion I've ever seen. Mainly because of the encounter from last week we agreed both to never talk about again. I could only say that it involved him coming into the wrong time while I was admiring some busty woman on a computer. Surprising they wrote my ass out, but I guess he needs me. Lucker walked straight towards me, wearing flannel and a fedora. He closed the door right behind him. Gonzo, we need to talk, really quick. I simply looked at him dead in the eyes. It was too early in the morning, I hadn't even had my coffee. The sun wasn't even out. I rubbed my temple and put my pen down, saving more of Columbus's slog for later. What do you need, Lucker? I muttered, the grogginess in my voice obvious. Lucker walked towards my desk, looking at me with his black, sunken-in eyes. I've got an assignment for you. This will be a real pain in the ass, he said. Caught me by surprise, so I gave him a dirty look. What the hell do you mean? I already got an assignment. I'm just the editor. Why don't you send Columbus or the sharp guy out? They're your reporters. I don't report them. I edit the shit. Lucker only shook his head and pulled out a cigarette, lighting up in my office. The fucker knows I hate that. Just does it anyway, just to get under my skin. He took a long drag of the cancer stick. The amber glowed brightly in the semi-dark room, only a glimpse of dawn beaming through the window. Smoke emanated through the tip before he puffed out some from his mouth. Normally I would, but Sharp's kid's going to be visiting any day now, and he doesn't want to miss it. As for Columbus, the guy's an idiot. If I send him on his assignment, he'll probably end up on the other side of the country. He sighed, and smoke came out of his mouth. I felt an urge to gag because of the smoke, but I held it back just so I could respond with a ready remark. So you're sending me to hell instead, then? Don't be like this, man. I swear it's just a simple trip or so. I'll even give you a nice commission for the trouble. he said with a sigh. This gets my attention. Normally when Looker talks about commissions, he meant this was a big thing. Normally the highest he went for was about $10,000. Whatever this was must be important. He took another drag, exhaled some, while I thought it over. But I simply asked, what's this job you got? He had me. Hook, line, and sinker. He pulled out a cigarette out of his mouth, dropping it into my trash can. Small bits of embers died after some time, and the smell invaded my scent. He puffed on long after that. The job is simple. You're going to drive down south and get an interview with the president down at the White House. I have a friend down there who managed to get a hold of a couple of press passes. Shocking. And it looks like long. This thing's 20 pages long. Jesus! I felt a small headache, having a feeling that he wasn't going to let this go, and I would be the one dealing with it. That's for sure. I looked at him dead in the eyes, making my decision as if I had a choice. Fine, just let me get it go. Just let me get ready. I got a feeling it's going to be a long night. He gave me a huge smile. The light from outside let me see the yellow-stained teeth, though I couldn't help but think they looked almost like it was gold. As he patted my desk, giving a small slam, that's the spirit, my boy Gonzo. I take the rest of the day off. Get yourself ready. You got a president to find. I groaned and nodded. Maybe taking the night off would be a good thing. It wasn't even noon, and I already need a stiff drink. Looking over to Columbus's sheet, I felt a shiver going down my back from looking at the grammar before crossing out one of the words and putting it back on my desk. Sure, someone else will be able to take care of it. I got back up, and with a long and merciful groan, I walked over to Looker. Swear to God, Looker, you better not fuck me over, you old fart. Wouldn't even bother with that. Now get out of here before I change my mind, you ugly son of a bitch. A silence fell between the two of us as I reached to grab my things, mainly a coat and car keys. Walking out of the building, the sunlight shone brightly over the horizon. It was now daytime, and I needed to be heading home. Got plenty of time to get ready, but if there was one thing I remember, I needed that drink. I head to the closest pub to me, the Ghost Tavern. Been there once a while afterward, though never really found it that impressive. It's just your simple pub with all the shots. And by that, I mean the whiskey and beer. The rest tastes like Neil's piss, at least what Moonman told me anyway. Don't ask me how he knew what it tastes like. I don't want to know, and I'm sure you don't want to either. Hey, don't knock until you try it, you sniveling son of a bitch. I don't know where that came from, but oh well. As I was saying before, walking to the Ghost Tavern wasn't much of an impressive note. To start with, it was dim when I walked in, except a few TVs that seemed to be playing the events of last night's game. I didn't take much notice of it. I sat at the bar, I ordered a drink. A cold one, poured and ready. I looked down, examining it. It wouldn't have surprised me if there was something in there, though. Who cared? Who cares? I took a long drink. The bitter taste consumed my taste buds, but I downed it before slamming my glass on the table before giving a long grunt. What's wrong, bud? Can't take your liquor? Turning my head over, I looked at the guy who called me out. At first, I wouldn't have known who it was. It turned out to be Moonman sitting there. Fucker there just gave me a cocky smirk, taking a shot of whiskey and putting it down. Looking over to the bartender and pouring down in the glass, obviously wanting another, the bartender just looked over to him with a gruff look. Not in the mood to take anyone's shit. That's what Moonman did at this point. Give a laugh, walk towards me before sitting in the seat next to me. Come on, Gonzo, bud, what's hanging? Smile while taking the new glass of beer the bartender brought him. I took a sip of mine. Nothing much, Moonman. Work forcing me to go to a trip out of town. This catches Moonman's attention. Not even looking over to him to see the long smile that was wrapping around his face, he seemed to have an idea in mind. Where are you planning on going, man? I knew I was planning and just chuckled some. Figured I'd tell him. He'd most likely just bug me until I tell him anyway. Hell, I know the bastard for a good few years. Job involves me going down to Washington, D.C. I'm beginning to be in the conference room where the president's giving a speech. I couldn't help but feel cocky about it. Hell, why not? I began to think about it. How often was it that I'd be able to get out of state? Not much, but I'm guessing he over there had the same idea. As he looked me in the eye and muttered, "I'm coming with you." What? Was the only thing that came out of my mouth. I said, "I'm coming with you, fucker." He put the glass down, now being half empty. Though I guess if you're the half full kind of fellow, who really cares? But like I said before, I was confused. What do you mean you're coming with me? Do I need to clean out this fuse of yours? I said, "I'm coming with you. I could just use a vacation for this place. And the mill's been owing me some vacation." I looked over to him and just sighed. I'm sure Moon was drunk off his ass. It seemed like he couldn't think straight until he had 4 beers down his gut. From the way the bartender was looking at him, the guy was probably on his 6th. And it wasn't even noon. "You wanted to come, huh?" He only nodded through giving off a small hiccup. As he finished, the bartender looked at him, simply exclaiming, "Yeah, you're done for the rest of the day," and walked off with the glass. Moonman just grunted and waved it off. Who asked him? I'll get more later. Besides, I'm on vacation. Did you say the bill owed you? Yeah, whatever. So where are we going? Nothing about it seemed bright, so I groaned and figured that I'd be able to give him off this idea of coming with me since I'd be needing to leave by tomorrow anyway. And would you look at the time? I'll be heading out tomorrow. That's when my plane will be heading out, at least from the text the box sent to me. God, I wish he told me this a little bit sooner, but hey, I could use a ride. Sure thing, bub. I'll be there tomorrow night. I gotta pack my stuff up for tomorrow. He pulled himself up from his seat, stumbled out of the bar, and headed off. I looked down, realizing that my beer was completely empty. All that came to mind, right, was that I had finished it while me and Moonman talk. Strange things happen when you don't really think of it. Really wasn't anything for me to do now, so I paid my tab and walked out. I have much to do, so I might as well get it started. I even have a companion in the form of a headache. Tomorrow couldn't seem to come soon enough, that's for sure. I didn't seem to sleep a wink from how it seemed my stuff was packed up. My neighbor with the spare key would feed my fish while I'm gone, but I'm assuming it's dead since I don't bother to check on it. I got up and headed straight for the door. That was when something happened that seemed peculiar. A knocking as I wrapped my hand around the handle. Who the hell is knocking on my door now? Whatever the hell you call the damn thing, I looked through it. The keyhole thing, eye hole, whatever. Moonman was there, standing on the other side with a big grin, wearing a Hawaiian shirt that was bright red. Looked tacky. He even had a shaded hat on his head. He seemed to be putting his eyes against the hole in an attempt to see in, but it looked like it wasn't working. I proceeded to swing the door open. He gave a dazed look and muttered, "Oh, you're here! God, I thought I got the wrong apartment complex again. This is the 4th time I tried this." The fuck do you... Never mind. Why are you here? I was already feeling my head pounding with hearing Moonman said that, though he only exclaimed, "We're heading off to D.C. to meet the president, remember? I figured you'd remember more than I could." Wait, you still remember that? I thought you were blackout drunk. Oh, but I managed to leave a boat for myself to meet you here, while next to it was a suitcase and a plane ticket to Washington. So let's get going. I'm driving. Moonman reached over to grab my hand and basically dragged me off. Simply pulled me into a rusted Mustang convertible. It looked like it needed a new paint job and a wash. The guy didn't care. He got into the driver's seat and drove us to the airport. Before you ask, maybe he was kidnapping, maybe not, but I don't care. Just wanted to get on the plane. Maybe I could relax. Yeah, who was I kidding? I mean, really, being relaxed at the airport was probably one of the dumbest things to think of. swear I must be an idiot. The place is crazy. People running around, children screaming. Somehow I got the only person in the world grouchier than me. Some snobby black woman with an attitude higher than Mount Everest. I tried being calm, not saying much, pay for the stupid ticket, but I swear to God, look, I better add this to the commission. Though other than that, everything seemed to be running smoothly. Me and Moonman just needed to get through security. We'll be home free. Long story short, they went straight to hell. I was standing in line behind Moonman. He walked through, suitcase in one hand, a six-pack of Miller in the other. He placed the two on a table, and one of the security guards looked right at him and said, "Sir, you're not allowed to bring this on the plane." "What the hell do you mean I can't bring my beer on the plane?" Moonman didn't look happy at all hearing this. The security guard continued, "Sir, you can't have bottles like those on the plane. We can provide you with the liquor." "Well, like hell you can. Those little glasses aren't even worth the trip. I need more for my buzz." So I pushed the man. That didn't end well. He got tackled. I tried moving over to calm the situation. Maybe I'll be able to calm the two and just get going. Big mistake. It's the next thing I knew, I was being forced into the ground by a large, hefty person groaning next to Moonman. "Well, this could have gone better," he said to me with a small chuckle. I knew I wasn't chuckling as much. Simply put, there was much more madness and insanity since I would go on, but on the bright side, we never got charged with anything. They just picked us up and threw us out of the building, claiming we were lucky they didn't call the cops on us, and that we weren't allowed to come back. Stumbling down the sidewalk, I couldn't help but groan, looking annoyed at Moonman, who looked at me and said, "Damn bunch of tight asses, isn't they?" He patted my back and began walking on. I looked over at him and said, "You gotta be kidding me, man. I just got kicked off the goddamn plane. How am I supposed to get to Washington now?" I felt my head was ready to explode. And he looked at me, simply stating, "I'll drive you. Shouldn't take too long, I'm sure of it." He began walking off to his car. Sighing, I followed him. Clear didn't have much of a choice. I swear to God. I swear I'm gonna need to get my own car. We drove down the road for about an hour, leaving the airport and the whole fiasco of getting kicked out. There was a moment of silence as we really didn't have much to say about it. Moonman looked over to me saying, "Well, that was something, am I right?" I wanted to give him this annoyed look, though somehow now to look back at it, I gave a loud chuckle. Looks like we're going to be on the no-fly list for the rest of our fucking lives. Moonman laughed a little while, also. Never liked flying anyway. Way too high for my taste. But hell, we could make it down there in no time with old Bessie here. He slammed down on the wheel. This would only cause the vehicle to cough and groan out some. Black smoke started to come out of the exhaust. I was able to see this without a problem. I looked over to him and said, "Right." I had a thought come to my mind, simply looking right towards them, saying, "Wait, why did you even come with me if you don't fly?" He gave a laugh. He looked back for a second, like he was trying to think of something, anything that would have been an answer. He tried getting an idea, but he came up with this. "Because sometimes you just want to get out of town. Gotta live a little, man. I want to just get out of this town. It's the best I could do, really." It gave me a smile for a second, as he seemed to relax, though it was clear he hadn't drunk that much. Enough to do something stupid, but still, gotta give the guy a break. Not that bad of a fellow. Yeah, thanks, man. You're such a kind guy." Well, we would drive off, passing a random bar, and nothing happened from there on. "Hey, forgot something." "Oh, I'm not talking about that. Too bad I'm telling him." Now listen here, good sir, because this is going to be a good one. Now we're driving down the road, and it's been about an hour or so, and I'm getting really nice and thirsty. That's when I saw this place called the Closet Bar and Grill. Worst name I ever heard. Since I was driving, I was in control of where I was going, so I decided we need to get out and stretch a little. And I could give myself a cold one. Everyone wins, that's for sure. So I turned to gaze the Gonzo. He seemed to be noticing how I was slowing down and asked me, "Why are we stopping?" "'Cause, my gingery friend, we're gonna need a nice cold drink." "I'm not ginger. You think it would be a good idea for us to stop so soon?" "Oh, what's the worst that could go wrong? Besides, I haven't done anything wrong so far." He just looked at me for a second with a dear old stink eye, as if he didn't trust me, simply saying, "You got us kicked out of the airport." Nothing was going to stop me, that's for sure. I needed this and I was going to get it, so I simply gave my best come here and smile. So look, I used to get my ex-wife to marry me. She had the last laugh on me. Remember, boys and girls, Vegas was drinking, and it's never a good idea. Well, too late, we're here. We drove into a parking lot, we headed in towards the bar. Heading inside, I couldn't help but find it rather interesting. We got into a booth. I will say this, though, the plug about the place might not have been impressive. The music was terrible. I think it was Selena Diane, or whatever her name. Maybe one to listen to Nickelback in one ear and Coldplay in the other. The waiter came over, bringing a couple of menus. This guy was a slightly funny-looking fellow with a wife beater and some tight jeans. Hair was long and green. Was he even wearing eyeshadow? I think it was. He took one look at Gonzo and seemed to have a smile before saying, "Don't worry about the first round, guys. It's on me." "Well, that was nice of him, wasn't it?" I said, not thinking about it while putting the menu down. There was going to be free beer, but Gonzo, the fun killer he could be, just wasn't happy about it. Just took a look at me. God, I don't like this place much. I mean, there's just something about it. It just doesn't seem right. Hell, I haven't even noticed a woman around here. Yeah. The fellow just most likely wanted a bigger tip. I've seen it happen a time or two, though. Usually it's done by girls, but oh well, beer's beer. Won't be long before the funny-looking fella brings us the beer and gave me another drink. I raised my beer up the Gonzo with a long smile. Looks like Moonman's taking over the narration. Then took a long drink. The waiter just scammed it off a little more, but said it was, "You boys have fun." Fine, but again, Moonman, I don't think this is our kind of bar. "Oh, will you just relax a little? This place is fine. Just drink your damn beer." I pushed the drink over to him, and I admit it was a little forceful. Sat there for a couple of minutes and drank away. The beer was delicious. This good-looking chick came rolling over in a couple of minutes. She seemed to be looking in my direction, and so carefully moved her hand right over to mine and said, "Care for a dance, big boy?" She was long, petite, admittedly already had a small breast size than my normal liking, but damn, she didn't have an ass on her that just said it all. Her hair was probably the funniest of them all, being dyed at what looked like a rainbow style while she let it all fall down. For the sake of keeping her name out of this, or whatever Gonzo's fancy term was, I'll call her Rainbow. Now, since I was such a gentleman, I couldn't deny a pretty girl a dance. It'd be rude for me not to. "Well, I suppose we could dance for a few minutes before I go back on the road, miss." "Just call me Rainbow. Everyone here does." She took my hand, and we were all going to go off. Jones grabbed my hand and said, "Moonman, I'm warning you. We gotta go." "Will you relax, man? God, you're acting like a pussy. Just one dance. Nothing's gonna happen. So we dance, and not much else happens." Like hell you're gonna tell us. Yeah. Here's what really happened. As Moonman went off dancing with that girl, I was sitting at the bar and decided to just go take a drink. Admittedly, Moonman was right. The beer was fine. That was all he had said. That was accurate. I sat back, figuring it won't take long, and this large black man, looking like a fat Taylor Lautner, sat next to me, holding his old beer in his hand. He looked over to me and said, "Well, hello there, cutie." Just gave me a smile as I looked at him suspiciously, ignoring the cute remark as one does. "Yeah, you want something?" "Oh, just coming over since you're being alone here. Nothing wrong with that." He chuckled some, and I felt something brushing against my leg. "That better not be your hand." Could be nearly anything you want, sexy. You seem to be holding my thigh. It's getting on my nerves. I was hoping Moonman would come back right away, but I felt him moving closer to my inner thigh, and just as I looked at him deadpan, not in the mood for something like this. Better get your hand off me, fucker. Oh, I just love it when you get that fire in our eyes. I felt him grab something that I should have mentioned. His dick! Shut it! This pushed me to my breaking point. I could just feel his hand. I could just feel my hand turning into a fist. Called it out? Well, partner, try this one out for size. I slammed my fist in his face, out like a light. I didn't think I hit him that hard, but it happened. What happened next wasn't really good. Must have been friends with everyone in the bar. They got up and looked at me. They looked pissed and started to go at me. I thought it was the end for there. But if I was going to die, I might as well put up a damn good fight. They came at me while I was punching, dodging, and hitting. I don't know who I was going at, though. They just keep scratching and pawing and clawing. I was doing well on my own. But Moonman ran into me yelling out, "What'd you do? I leave you alone for 5 minutes and this happens?" Long story. Speak for yourself. He began helping me up as we tried finding our way to the door. Rainbow came right at me, getting ready to beat me up with her shoe. A shoe. I was ready to toss her in the long rainbow hair. Anyway, fell off. The beautiful girl was really a man. That girl Moonman was talking about was a dude. Moonman just got sick and puked right on the floor. Did it? You did? Didn't seem to help much, but with the two of us working, we fought our way out the door. Ran towards the car. Luckily, the police didn't show up. Might as well be coming that soon. We just ran back to Moonman's car and we booked it out of there. Driving out of there like a tornado was chasing our ass. The most I could say after that was that we didn't stop driving for the rest of the day. We were heading down south towards Washington. We're not going to talk about this again, will we? As long as we promise not to tell them I puked all over the floor. Agreed. The music was nice. Surprisingly, Moonman hadn't taken a single drink from the six-pack that he just remembered he left in the back seat. So it'll stop you after we went through all that. Nothing more happened that seemed off-putting this situation. I sat back and let myself get comfortable, looking over to my phone to check out pics of a busty woman. Just admiring them since there wasn't much to do. Now they were very sexy. I've been single most of my life, rarely gone now, so I found a nice addiction to look over a naked woman. Sure, I might have had occasional one-night stand, but they only lasted so long. These pictures I could commit to memory. I was enjoying them for a good time until I felt the car begin to slow down while we were in the middle of nowhere. It caught my attention when I looked right over at Moonman. He was slowing down until he made a turn to the only house we managed to pass for miles. I shook my head and simply exclaimed to him, "Why are we stopping? We're making good time." Trying to figure out what he was planning next. I reached over, grabbing my seatbelt. As he muttered, "Hold on to your panties. I just need to take a shit. I don't feel like turning back to the last gas station we passed. That was 10 miles back." He shut the door. Normally I wouldn't have cared and let him go right on in, but on account of us having to get arrested a few hours ago, I was going to leave him alone. He's too spontaneous. I did the only thing I could think of. I followed him towards the door and just hoped nothing would go wrong. When we finally got to the door, I proceeded to knock. I knocked as hard as I could. The lights came on and the door swung open. Standing in front of us was a hell of a woman. Tall, standing around 6 foot, when I stood about 5'7". Her hips wide, give good padding for her chest. A large pair. For a minute I thought they were fake. This looked to be about a double E. Though when she crossed her hands around her chest, they were jiggling, as if she wasn't wearing a bra. "Is there something I can help you with?" The voice was elegant and seductive, yet held that southern accent. I almost came. I was stoned for a good minute. Moonman, though, he just gave a grunt. We've been traveling for a good few miles, and I'm in need to use your shitter. Seems we're miles away from the Ghost's gas station. Possible to use yours. We'll be on our way. The woman just tapped her arm for a good second. Face frowned, that turned into a nice smile after a moment. Nothing more to it. She seemed to relax. Well, that's all. I'm sure I can help you with that. Come on, you two. I'm Molly. She reached over and shook my hand. Kind of surprised, though. I slowly shook back. I'm Gonzo, Molly, and thanks. I promise you'll be real quick. She moved over to the side as she walked in. Our house seemed pretty nice, much better than the small-time apartment. Walls were a slightly tacky green wallpaper, made it come from the 70s. She had a leather-upholstered couch. So, Molly, where your restroom be? Moonman asked while giving a crooked grin. Molly gave an nod, simply saying, down the hall to the left. Careful the door gets stuck when you're inside. Moonman nodded and headed there. Molly gave me more of a smile and said, take a seat. Relax a little, darling. At least till your friend gets back. You must have been on the road for a while. Well, we have been on the road for a good while, and in all honesty, there was a chance to actually rest for a minute. When I sat down in the chair, I felt really relaxed, leaning back with a long smile inside. Molly took a seat right next to me, giving a long smile. She looked over at me for a second. I swear you look tense. She started rubbing my shoulder. Just seemed to be getting into my personal space. I don't mind. I mean, she's gorgeous, at least in my opinion. Yeah, just dealing with an assignment. It's driving me nuts. Well, you poor thing. I'm sure when your assignment's all done, you'll be back home. Maybe with your special lady for some sensual fun. When she said it, brought a shiver down my spine. Hot breath in my ear. Even now, I couldn't tell if she's doing this on purpose or if it was natural for her. Actually, no, it's been a few good months since I've been with a woman. Admittedly, I don't know why, but she seemed rather trustworthy. What else pinging me? Oh, something else. Something else, don't worry. She didn't gasp before saying, no way, how is it even possible for a handsome fellow like you? I'm sure the ladies are just crawling all over you. I mean, it's been a good month or two myself since I rolled in A. Working out on the farm can really get busy during these long months. It was a long moment as I listened to that. The way she looked at me with those lustful eyes, at least I assume. One of her hands was caressing her cheek, like she had something on mind. Well, is that so? No time for herself? Figured a beautiful woman like you would be married. You think so, but working here, I never really had the time to go out and date. I could ask you for a small favor. There wasn't much about it, what with the flirting and just a small bit of curiosity about what she might need help with. I would simply decide to go with it and said, sure, it shouldn't be a problem. She could only smile, hearing that, as she grabbed my hand, pulling me up the stairs with a simple chuckle. We walked upstairs, leading me all the way. What happened next was a little surprise. Moonman takes over from here. I'm taking it over from here, Gonzo. This borderline doesn't need to know about your small dick. Hey, what do you mean? I got into the bathroom. That big titty woman told me to go and took a nice long piss. Boy, that felt nice, I'll tell you what. I walked back to the living room. I called out, hey, Gons, I'm finished. Can we head out? Now, those two were gone. I mean, I couldn't find them anywhere on the ground floor. I walked to the kitchen. Swore I never saw a ceiling lamp swinging back and forth so fast. It was just rocking. Upstairs, I heard the moaning and groaning of one chick. I'm going to need to pat that SOB after she's done. I laughed as Gonzo was such a stick in the mud. He needed to get laid. I'll tell you what. They were going at it like rabbits in heat. I decided to help myself to the liquor cabinet. Just hanging there, not even locked. Well, I moved over and swung it home, and I saw there was nice old-fashioned moonshine. This is a fucking next level fucking Fear and Loathing shit. Now I'm clearly in heaven, and Gonzo was too. Swear I must have gone into a crash and died. I proceeded to pull the top off. I shoved that white lightning down my throat, and it felt exhilarating. I leaned back against the table, letting those two fuck away like horny dogs. Figured it would be safer just enjoying my booze. Mainly, I just wanted to enjoy the moonshine. I even said check moaning more while Gonzo just went, "Oh, fuck me, Molly!" I thought he was about to blow his load already, but they just kept going on and on. I heard a door right in front of me open, and there was this chick. I thought she was a chick. After the whole Trap Gay Bar accident, I wasn't taking chances, but from what I could tell, she had small tits, short black hair, was wearing a sweater along with jeans that were ripped around the ankles. She looked at me, almost confused, said, "Hello, I am Catherine." Catherine? This sounds familiar. What's up? You can call me Moonman. I growled, bowl, taking another drink of moonshine. She looked at me all annoyed, asking, "Where'd you get that?" I probably pointed to the liquor cabinet. "Hey, put that back," she told me. I was shaking my head, yelling, "Hell no!" Next thing I knew, she tries coming right up to me, taking a bottle. I had her a good few feet. I just hold it right over her head. All the while, that Molly chick is screaming louder. Something about that sets her off. She pulled out a .22 rifle. I swear the girl guy was crazy. She pointed at me, simply saying, "Put my moonshine down, boo boy." She began raising her voice, and I did the only thing I could think of. I put the bottle back down on her head. I wept when the bottle broke her head. She went down but fired her gun, and it was in the air. And then I heard Gonzo scream, "Oh, motherfucking God! Someone just shot me in the ass!" Oh shit, my sister's here. You guys better get going. I heard that and just shot out there like a chicken with its head cut off. I went towards the car. I went out of the window to the second floor, jumping off the roof. He tumbled down, started stumbling the best he could. He was limping some, and so I got to start the engine for our grand escape. And we got it there like Bo and Luke Duke. Let me check the donations real quick. Nah, nothing new. He jumped on the passenger side, but before we left Molly call out from the window. "Now you nice folks come by again. Gonzo baby, I'll see you again later." I watched her poke her head out the window, tits hanging out. Very nice. I give it a thumbs up. We were driving like there's no tomorrow. "You know, Gonzo, I think that went well." "I got shot in the fucking ass!" "Well, partner, better have a bullet right there instead of your dick." God, I swear to God. Ugh. "We're going to a hospital. We're getting this thing removed while we get the chance." Anyways, now back to me. And we're at what? 15 pages out of 20. We're making good time. We were driving out of there like a madman. My ass was hurting because of the bullet. Thanks a lot, by the way. Just had to piss off a woman. We drove off, going for miles. The sun arrived and we were exhausted. We were running on fumes with the last bit of adrenaline leaving me. I was close to passing out. I know my ass stopped bleeding, but I got to get that thing out of me when I got to go and see a doctor. And hope to God there's no CAT scan anytime soon. I think you're thinking of an MRI. The next stop we made by then, which I was reluctant to do, though Moonman there had said we ran out of gas, was a gas station. It looked like one of the normal everyday kind of gas stations. The gas prices were a little bit higher, and there was a diner on the other side of the road with a large statue of Paul Bunyan. The place seemed normal. Well, I'm sure we could stop for gas and something to eat. I don't see anything wrong with it. We proceeded to get out of the car, parked over by the gas station so Moonman could fill it up. I went over and get food. Make sure I get the eggs with a side of bacon! Yeah. Now this place was the average rustic place. Felt like something out of old Americano. Different little souvenirs of American culture on the side. Even a buffalo skull over one of the windows. Definitely something you see at home, to say at least. I'd walked over to one of the booths and just waited. A cute little waitress came up with a long smile wearing a short skirt that basically said, "Oh, I'm definitely wanting to get that tip from you, mister." I made my order, just sat back, relaxing. Nothing could have gone worse than what happened the other day. I even felt close to closing my eyes. There was a loud crashing sound that came from right next to me. I looked over to see what it was, and my mouth just dropped. The Great Paul Bunyan statue just toppled over, landing hard on the ground and simply shattering. Standing next to the former giant of a man was Moonman, dazed and confused, while pulling himself up from the ground. "Oh, come on!" I basically screamed into Dyer, catching everyone's attention. I got up from the booth, I bolted out of there, hoping nobody notices, and went over to grab Moonman. The crowd was forming around this small statue. I grabbed his arm and began pulling him off back to the car. I can't English, sorry. "What did you do?" "I tripped." I hardly believed him. I pushed him into the car, the passenger side, and just got behind the wheel. Just hit the gas and floored it. Nothing was stopping me, and we were just heading off at a tank full of gas. While we were there, I could even see the sign. Washington, D.C., 10 miles. "What did you do knocking that statue over?" "I don't know. One minute I was walking, I tripped over the rope. I was so damn annoyed, I just took out my pocket knife and cut it. Next thing I knew, it just fell down. Wasn't my fault." At this point, I just wanted to scream and knock him out. But I did the best I could and just kept myself calm and relaxed. This will be all over soon, I thought. The crocodile wasn't coming fast enough. As the sun rose, we were there. The big city, our nation's capital, D.C. Moonman was sleeping in the passenger seat. All the while, I tried to keep my eyes on the road. Traffic through the city was crazy. I didn't think I was going to make it, but I did. There was a parking garage about a mile or so away from the White House, just enough to be able to walk there. And going through, I made my way there, my press badge in hand. I made the final stretch there, Moonman following right behind me. I don't know what he was planning on doing, but I didn't care. I have a date with the president. I walked towards the entrance to the White House. Going towards the guard box, I stood there. "Hello, I'm here for the conference." I pulled out the press badge. The guy on duty just looked at it and huffed. Looked like someone just pissed in his cereal. "Yeah, punk, get out of here." I was shocked. Not going the way I was planning, so I said, "Look, I came a long way and the badge is real. Let me in." "I won't be letting you in. Besides, I'm sure it's fake, so leave." I wasn't going to be happy about this, as I simply wanted to argue, but the next thing I knew, Moonman walked over. "Hey, buddy, mind checking this out?" He pointed down at his leg. The guard, not thinking as far as I could guess, did look down. Moonman swung a bottle of beer down and slammed it onto his head. The guard is out cold. I was shocked and looked over to Moonman. "The fuck is wrong with you? The bastard was annoying me, and he's an ass. Come on, you need to get in the conference, right? I guess we're going to jail anyway for all the shit we did here. Might as well add breaking into the White House on top of it. Sure Big Bubba will love that one." We stuck in there. Surprisingly, there was lack of security. We moved down some and tried to figure out where the conference was. We pulled a random door open to see a large crowd of people standing there. Seems we found the room. They turned around, looked at us, and we were right out of our element. We simply gave a slight wave, and everything died down from there. The two of us got into the last two chairs and just sat there. I pulled a small camera out to record all that happened, to write down later when we get to a hotel. A bloke got onto the stage. I couldn't remember who, and he talked. Must have been the vice president starting off just to let us know the conference was close to beginning. As he walked off the stage, the president was getting up. I heard a loud clicking with a long, sizzling sound. Moonman just popped a beer out and looked while everyone, including the president, looked at him. He looked confused and went, "What? It's not like I'm at a eulogy again." The fuck again? I could feel myself groaning, but everyone else just seemed to tolerate it before going back to business. For which I was thankful for. Everything was going fine, albeit boring for the first half hour. And then it went straight to hell again. Moonman was drinking his beer, nearly chugging it. I think Moonman had hit his tolerance level. He was starting to talk slightly shit. It was a whisper, but it got louder. I could barely tell what he was going to say at first, trying to listen to what the president was trying to say, but the next thing I knew, gosh, this damn boring, and turned into NASCAR. He took his beer and tossed it right at the president. The president of the United States. It landed him dead center in the chest. I couldn't believe it. The Secret Service was about to come right on in and surround us. I did the only thing I could think of doing and pulled my hand up, surrendering. Moonman looked over to me, saying, "I think we can take him." And all I could do was, "Shut the hell up, you drunk ass!" The least likely thing ended up happening there. That security guard Moonman knocked out? He ran in and screamed, "Stop those guys that are breaking in!" A little too late, dumbass. By then, though, we were in cuffs heading to jail. And that's where you came in and how we ended up in this situation. Locked in a jail cell. So, since you're our lawyer, is there any way you get us out of here? Well, I know what you've been doing. I mean, it will be difficult. Most I can get is an insanity plea from Moonman. The only plea I get from you guys is 20 to 30 if we're lucky. Fucking silly. Seems like everything was not going well. Nothing about this seemed like it was going to go well. But the miracle happened. In comes the president with guards surrounding him. Looking over to one of our guards, saying, "Let him out! I won't be pressing charges." They just opened the door. He looked over to me and said, "Congratulations, boys. You've firstly been the first person I've given a pardon. You should feel grateful." He was turning to get ready to leave, and I called out, "Wait, what are you doing this for?" "My sister asked me to. She'll be waiting out there to talk to you." He was gone. I was confused as hell. Rather weird. But me and Moonman just proceeded to walk right out of the office. And there stood Molly. Standing there with a long smile, jumping for joy, running right towards me in an embrace. A hug, a hot kiss. "Oh, Gonzo, baby, I'm glad you're alright. I really wish you had told me you were going to see my brother. I'm sure I would have been able to get you there with no problem, baby." Oh, well. This was rather shocking. I found myself without words. Moonman, on the other hand, "Console, your dick saved the day. You're living the American dream, brother." I was going to say something, but I'll just go with it. I grabbed Molly, I tipped her back, and I kissed her with some passion. It's how I wanted it to be, though. Let's just say a month later, life somehow went back to normal. Sitting at my desk, same old shit. Columbus still doesn't seem to understand how to use commas. There was moments I just want to strangle the fucker, but, you know, that's against the law. I prefer not to end up in jail again. I have to go through this. Knowing my luck, Walker will still force me to work while I'm in jail. The most annoying thing, though, was a bastard out there was having fun, grabbing a beer or something. I'm stuck here in the office. If the guy wasn't my boss, I'd deck him. Knock, knock, knock. I heard a door being pounded on, and I looked at it to see a tall silhouette standing there. No way to tell who could have been. For all I know, it could just be Moonman coming to visit me. The man's been doing that more often than usual. While pushing some of the papers away, come on in. I watched the door begin slowly opening. Something about how the door creaked that sent chills down my spine. The door fully opened, revealing in the doorway Molly, a long smile that was attention-grabbing. She seemed to be swaying her hips as she entered my office. It's been a month since I saw her, so she had to go back to our farm and I had to go back to work. We talked over the phone, yeah, and other things. I wouldn't tell you all that we did. I am willing to admit I wasn't expecting her to come by. How long has she been driving? I felt myself jumping out of my seat and moving right towards her. Comes it down. I mean, you must be tired of getting all the way up here. How's that? How's that brother of yours? I'm tired, Gonzo, baby, and Brook Bro's doing fine. But I'm not here for small talk. I have some news for you. Okay, would you like a seat? She declined the offer. No, I think maybe you should take a seat. So, what's up? I think I can handle it. Molly nodded, turned around, closing the door. The sound of the door slamming finish. Molly looked at me and said, Gonzo, I'm late. The tension in the room was so thick you could cut it with a knife. She decided to say it again. Gonzo, I'm late. My mind went blank. You could literally hear my brain going dead. I tried to give a laugh, joking, late for a meeting, something else? I'm late on my period. Gonzo, baby, we're gonna have a baby. Her moves seemed to change from a serious to an expression of surprise. I just went quiet. I think my heart stopped as the realization of what she said hit me like a shit ton of bricks. She's pregnant with my child. Molly wouldn't let me go at this point and seemingly confused. Asking, is he okay? I was looking towards a window, my hand pushing down on the windowsill. I wasn't far from the ground, being on the first floor of the place. I looked out to the street. But what happened next was, well, I didn't expect it for myself. I drove through the window. The sound of glass shattering around me. I ran out of there like a motherfucker. All the while, Molly was screaming her head off, freaking out before yelling at me, Gonzo, you get back here! Get back here! Help me take care of our baby, you fucker! I didn't stay long, planning to run as fast as I could. I even looked, seeing Moonman driving past me in his beat-up car. I yelled out, Moonman, stop the car! He proceeded to do in the middle of traffic, and I jumped in. The only thing I could do next was tell him to drive. Drive hard and don't look back. Now we're on the road again. Somehow I couldn't wait for that. Who knows what'll happen next. The end.